tell I'm not paying a massive amount of attention to you because I'm driving in Bali. So many foreigners, expats or whatever you want to call them, drive scooters in Bali, but actually not many drive cars. And the reason is, well, a lot of them are a bit scared, so they get a driver. It's really common to get a driver. Oh my god, listen to my puppies, they're so hot. It's hot today. So I just wanted to talk to you about driving in Bali, and I gotta watch. So what's it like driving in Bali compared to your home country? Well, of course there's no highways in Bali, so it's like, actually I was having this conversation with the kids in the morning and they were saying, Bali, you can't really call Bali a city, can you? And I was like, yeah, what would you call it? And they were like, and it's not a town, it's just like a country. So it's funny. So there's no highways, so the roads are quite skinny. You have one going one way, one going north, one going south, or wherever. And I would say you really have to concentrate, hence why I'm not looking at you. The reason is because you have a truckload of scooter on the road, you have dogs on the side of the road playing, you have chickens on the side of the road that sometimes I've had chickens go under the car and I've been like, oh, have I killed them? And thankfully I haven't because they've run out the other side. And then you've got kids on the side of the road, or you've just got people walking along the side of the road because there's not really any footpaths either. Actually, I saw a footpath the other day and I thought, oh, I need to go walk there because that's one thing I really miss with living in Bali is I don't get to walk. I used to walk everywhere and I can't really walk so much here because, oh, someone's passing me. I must be driving too slow. You can't really walk because, yeah, there's no footpaths. So, and of course I'm in Ubud, so probably less footpaths. The rules here aren't like they are at home. So you know, at home you might give way to your left, or you'll stop at a give way sign, or you'll, you know, there's lots of rules about who gives way to who and stuff. It doesn't really happen here. It's kind of, I remember someone saying, when you drive in Bali, you've just got to, it's a river and you go with the flow. And that's probably the best advice. Oops, I lost you nearly. That's probably the best advice I'd say, is it's a river and you just go with the flow. And everyone, the one thing I have to say is the Balinese or Indonesians are so accommodating. You know, there can be a truck parked on the side of the road and no one's beeping and going crazy. You know, there's only one lane, so it stops everyone, but people just go around him. They just slowly go around. See, right now I'm having to wait for this sweet old man. Oh, honey. Ooh, I hope I don't lose you. It's a bump. Yeah, I would just say that there's no road rules as such. I said this, I remember once when I had a driver and he was like, there's rules, they're just a bit more flexible. Yeah, it's not like you get to an intersection and you know, oh, well, I give way to my right here and that's a given. It's just kind of like you gauge everyone's thing and then, okay, you go. Now the other thing is something I took a while to get used to. In my home country, New Zealand, if someone blinks their lights at you, they're telling you, you know, oh, off you go, you go. You know, they blink their lights and it's like, oh, thanks. Here, I got in trouble a bit in the beginning. It's completely different. When someone blinks their lights, they're telling, I'm going, you better stop. So don't get yourself caught out. I don't know what your country's like, but in Bali, I don't even know if this is in the whole of Indonesia, but in Bali, if they blink their lights at you, they're telling you they're going and you better wait. Of course, I'd say it's quite easy for me driving because I'm from New Zealand. I think we drive on the left-hand side of the road. Oh, you're going wonky. We drive on the same side of the road as Bali, so that's not a massive difference. And I guess it's just getting used to the really skinny roads because they really are skinny. And also it takes a very long time to get everywhere. I can spend 3 or 4 hours in the car easy a day and I'll be like, oh, I think the one thing here is my time goes really fast because I spend so long getting anywhere. I live in Ubud and Ubud to Canggu takes me 1 hour. So if I'm going to go see a friend in Canggu or I've got to take the kids to dancing or circus, then it's an hour there and an hour home. and it's really common to do it. So I do it all the time, and it's just part of your life, so it takes a very long time. And then Google Maps, you know, she has heard a lot of bad words from me. Google Maps drives me insane, because I'll put her on and I'll put on the driving, not the scooter, and she will still take me down these tiny little streets, and I'm like, I cannot possibly fit down there, and then I end up having to reverse. So lots of tolerance, lots of patience. I have said many a naughty word to Google Maps, like she's a real person, but she was in that moment. So, and then also it takes so much longer. So Google Maps might say, oh, it's 58 minutes to get there, but I would say definitely add 10 to 15 minutes on that, because you'll hit a ceremony, and if there's a ceremony happening, that can take up, you know, the whole road, so you've got to wait for it to clear, or there just could be a lot of traffic. And definitely now in Bali there's been a little bit more traffic than usual, not so much in Ubud. Ooh. Not so much in Ubud, but when I've gone into Canggu, oh, the traffic has got so much worse in like Canggu, Seminyak area. So I definitely think you need your patience. Now to drive, puppy, we gotta see. Now to drive in Bali, you need to be legal. You need an international driver's license. So I got this in New Zealand when I left, and your local license, your local license, and the car will come with, and the car will come with a registration, and you have to make sure, see, I rent my car, and you have to make sure, I'm going to try and show you, bloop, bloop, bloop. You have to make sure it's dated right, because if the police pull you over and you don't have your international driver's license, and your local license, or if you have a kita here, so that's the visa that you can get if like my children have a kita, but I don't have a kita, but if you have a kita you can get a local license, so an Indonesian license, but if you don't have that in your registration, or your registration is expired, you'll have to pay some money. So your car registration needs to be valid. So when you rent a car, you need to make sure it's valid. Do I love driving in Bali? I love driving in Bali. I didn't love having a driver, and my kids really hated having a driver. We just liked kind of our own space, and I love that time when I pick the kids up from school and they tell me all about their day and we can chat really freely, whereas they were so shy with the driver, and I'm sure that would have changed over time. And look, if you come and you get a driver, I love that. Ooh, this is a bit of a curly whirly. See, we're just like going with the flow. Whee, thank you everyone. Of course, if you get a driver and you don't mind having one, then do, because of course it gives the Balinese a job, so I kind of love that. But for us it was just really uncomfortable and I didn't like it, and I really wanted to drive. I wanted my freedom. If you come here and drive, rules are just go with the flow. It's a river. You know, one thing I really wanted to tell you was, in Bali, your horn is, and I learned this from my driver told me this when I have it, your horn is kind of a bit like talking. So you know, and if I was in New Zealand and I put on my horn, someone would probably give me a naughty finger, and they would say a few not so nice words to me, but not in Bali. In Bali, when someone is passing you, lots, they'll give you a beep, and it's just them telling you and they are passing you. So they're like beep beep, well they don't even do beep beep, they go beep, and so it's not, so if someone beeps at you at the first time, it's, I've heard a couple of aggressive beeps but hardly ever. Mainly it's if someone beeps, it's because they want to go round you or they're going around you and they let you know. Because the other thing I wanted to say is here, so at home if I was to turn right, nobody would pass me right on the right hand side. That's tad dangerous, but not in Bali. So in Bali I can be turning right and you can have a lot of scooters coming down this side and down this side, and for a while I would put my hand out the window as well to be like, I'm turning, because also you see lots of blinkers on foreigners too on their scooters and stuff where they're not turning, and so I don't know that necessarily Balinese believe us when we put a blinker on. So if you're turning, like I used to of course just look in my front, so can I go, is there any oncoming traffic? No, I'll go. But once I started to drive here, I was like, oh, you know, because you'd go to turn and then scooters would go up next to you and you'd be like, oh my god. So that is a massive one that you know, it can be so dangerous. So if you're stopped and you're turning, you also need to look in your rear view mirror and out to the side to check. And I go really slowly when I'm turning, so I go really slow to like make them like, I'm turning, and sometimes still I'll get scooters that will go and I'm like, oh thank god I was going slow. So yeah, the horn and the cars coming in and out, and also if someone's coming, so if I'm like on my main road in my home country, someone wouldn't come out off the, you know, if I'm on the left hand side of the road driving, they wouldn't come out of their left hand side street, right? They wouldn't come out and just pull out in front. In Bali they do not, it's not a rule to look, so someone will come out, they'll come out of their street and they don't look to see if you're coming, so they just pull out and go. So you've got to be really cautious, because I had it a few times where I've kind of been there and they've taken the street wide and I've been like, whoa, and you know, and so you've got to be so cautious that on the left hand side, if you've got those cars coming out, they're not going to look to see he was giving me a beat because he's passing me, I'm driving too slow. Lots of passing in Bali, lots and lots of passing. Everybody likes to pass, sometimes dangerously, but so yeah, I guess driving in Bali, I love it. It's tiring, especially if you're going to Canggu for an hour, driving to Canggu for an hour and then driving home again, so it's really tiring. Although depending on where in the world you are, I guess you could sit in traffic for an hour and do nothing, so maybe I'm not used to that, but it's tiring because you really gotta watch. You know, I see so many dead dogs on the side of the road, so you've really got to watch, concentrate, and just be super aware of everything. See, I'm turning here and I've got to check that no one's going to come up beside me. See, this guy's gonna, no, I'm turning. Yeah, he's gonna go around me now. Yeah, see, so it's all very the Balinese are very kind when you're driving. They really are not aggressive. Sometimes shock me that they don't get more grumpy. Sometimes when I first got here and I started driving, I'd get a little bit frustrated because I'd be like, why would you do that? And then I was like, hang on, like they're so kind and so nice that they're just like, and it's not like where you're from, right? It's not like where I'm from, so just because I'm used to all these rules, they just have this courtesy. Hopefully that's made it really clear on what it's like to drive in Bali. It's great, it's fun, you've always got to be cautious, you're an expat in a foreign country, and there's so much happening on the roads. It's not quiet and peaceful, like there's nothing to watch because there's a lot to watch. Some of it is very interesting. Some of the things we've seen are traveling on trucks and on top of cars, and makes for an exciting day. So anyway, I hope that helps. I hope when you get to Bali, if you can come anytime soon, you will feel a little bit more confident about driving because of what I've told you. I mean, the puppies seem happy. Are you guys happy with my driving? Yeah, of course you are. They love my driving. I drive like a nana. Sometimes the kids are like, could you go a little faster? And I'm like, yeah, no, 40 is my limit. Anyway, mwah, hope you're all safe, well, and we look forward to seeing you again soon. And I can look now because there's no one on the road. Bye!